What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Boring Crypto. Today, we're just going to go over ICP. First, we're going to take a look at my previous ICP predictions, and we're going to talk about where I was right, where I was wrong, where we could hypothetically go in the future. It looks like it's kind of just chilling on this support. I would definitely try to get in $40, anything under $40. It's kind of just, it's just going to explode, and it's going to happen soon. I would say sometime, right in the beginning of November. I have a feeling that this thing's just going to take off. And when it does, so I don't think you're going to get many opportunities to get under $40. I don't think you'll see $40. I think what's going to happen is we're going to end up testing maybe $50, maybe 48, possibly 46. So as you guys saw by my previous predictions, I felt in my first video that anything under $40 was a great buy. And then after that, we went under $40. We went down to 38 on the 20th of October. And then ICP went all the way up to about 57. And that was around the time that I posted my second video saying, hey, if you're going to buy ICP, the lowest price you'll probably get is about $50. We would be lucky to see anything under 40, and anything between 45 and 50 would have been a great buy. However, we've seen a much larger correction than I anticipated this past week. So currently ICP is in a buy zone for me. So I think ICP at $40 at this time is great. Also, I said in my first prediction that ICP would be taking off in the beginning of November. It did, but then it didn't. So, it went up a good amount and then just fell to nothing. So here we are back at my initial buy area. So with that said, I already have these zones marked up. They're pretty close to my previous videos, but at this point, assuming that Bitcoin holds its prices, it needs to hold, at least 52,000 in my opinion to be safe. Currently, I think it's around 55, 56. I can take a quick look just to get a better idea. It's at 56.8. So, we need Bitcoin to hold. It would be nice if, it can come down to 55 and then pop back up. But, there's other levels of support and previous areas of resistance now turn support that we could be looking at. But I do see 56 being a possibility. This could be one of the last shakeouts we have before this thing takes off. Just real quick, while we're on the subject of Bitcoin, and just to give you a better perspective, when you go into November of 2017, the last bull run, the first week of November was great for Bitcoin. It went up, it came down, made a small correction before making a new all-time high here. I'm going to zoom in for you guys to show you what I mean. So November 1st, it starts at 6,300. And then in the first week, it went up to 7,600, which is a big deal for Bitcoin back then. And then it fell to 69,000 before making a new all-time high at 7,800. And then we had this correction from 7,800 down to 55. So I'm kind of under the assumption that if history kind of repeats itself, even though we're 10 days, ahead of this correction that happened in 2017, that this would be the last little shakeout, and that this is the support that needs to be held, and this support would be equivalent to this support. This is that 2017 support. So if I'm correct, then that means, and this wick is the Bitcoin bottom after what looks like an ABC correction. Let me go ahead and mark that A, B, C. Yeah, it's an awesome C. Then this would be the bottom before we continue up into new all-time highs. And I'm aiming for I don't know why I don't see it here, but I'm aiming for actually I think my Fibonacci's are just completely wrong. So yeah, I don't know how that happened. Let me go ahead. It's embarrassing. All right. Anyway, so yeah, 72.75, like this 1.272. And anything above that to me would be insane. But yeah, I'm thinking like this correction A, B, C, and then continue up here, and that's it. That's the end. And then once Bitcoin falls down wherever it lands before going back up, this point the point that, you know, Bitcoin has its final top, and when it starts going back up before it, you know, ultimately dies and goes into the bear market, that's where these alt seasons begin. So that means ICP should rise with Bitcoin if that's the Bitcoin bottom, you know, around that $56,000 area. Then when Bitcoin goes up, altcoins, ICP included, should continue up. And then when Bitcoin makes the blow off top, these things should go even crazier. So yeah, I think here this is perfect for you to buy. It's $40 right now. It's $40.16. This is a monthly demand zone. This is a place to buy. Your next place to buy is like $28. So if we break down underneath 37 and we close, you know, it's possible we go down to 32, and it's even possible we go down to 27 and make a new low. But if Bitcoin holds, then this should be the final little shakeout for the entire crypto market, in my opinion, which would mean that ICP is going to go up. And I'd love to give you guys time frames, but as you can see in my previous predictions, my time frames were a little off. If anything, I thought that ICP would already be past these resistances, assuming that, you know, this bull run does continue. I figured we'd be past this. So yeah, buy 40, anything under 40 still. At this point, you know, I do really think that anything under, I'm going to say this, it's going to sound kind of weird, but anything under 53 is still a good buy for me, because if we're here at $40 and you can't get in right now, I don't think it's like gonna come here and come back down and you're just gonna have this missed opportunity. I think that this is the last little shakeout, and I do think that this is the last correction before, you know, the rotation starts. You know, like once Bitcoin makes its top, then the rotation will, you know, really kick in and things will get crazy for a lot of these underappreciated assets like ICP and VRA. So anything under 40, and I'm going to go ahead and say anything under 50. I mean, as long as you're not using leverage, you know, this is your best bet. And then you can go ahead and just sit on it until January, possibly middle of January. But the best thing would probably be early January. And I still stand by both of my end of bull run predictions for ICP, with that being basically a minimum of 452. So we go up, we just like basically when that rotation happens, I believe we're just going to break through these resistances. I mean, obviously there's going to be ups and downs, but I think it's going to be pretty crazy. And then we hit 460, 450, and we just continue up. Obviously, don't forget, there's going to be pullbacks. It's not going to be a straight line. You know, someone made a comment on my video, and I did tell them if ICP didn't go to $1,000, I would delete my channel. So I kind of want ICP to go to $1,000 like most of you. My minimum is 450. And then I think we're just going to keep moving up. Hopefully 1,000. Anything over 1,000, in my opinion, would be kind of ridiculous. But like I said, I mean, this is big consolidation. And when things break out, they break out hard. I've compared this to like Sheeb, which is kind of funny because I'm not really into meme coins that much. But basically when you had this kind of pattern where you have, you know, you have a high and then you come down and you consolidate. When it finally breaks out, it ends up going to the 4.272 it, and for ICP that's like $2,600. And if you bought ICP at $40 and could turn it into, you know, $2,600, that would be pretty insane. So I'm leaning less towards that happening, and I'm actually leaning more towards like the top at 1,000. However, I have, you know, it's kind of important that we pay attention to the time frames. I've always kind of stuck to January being the blow off top for Bitcoin, but I'm going to go back and say like, hey, you know, December, you know, like around Christmas time, I think. So Christmas time would probably be the time where things get even crazier. But I would hope that heading into Christmas, ICP and XRP and everything like that would have already appreciated a little bit, and that would be the time where Bitcoin would have a blow off top, fall down, and then when it starts to go up again and people are buying it thinking that it's going to continue, that's where the alts will have their alt season. So that's what we're kind of waiting for. So I think you should buy ICP right now as long as it's under $40. Anything under $50 is still a discount to me because of how underappreciated this thing is, and I really think that when the rotation happens, this will be one of the biggest winners, at least in the mid caps and, at least like mainstream. Obviously, there's things on PancakeSwap and those DeFi tokens that just go up thousands of dollars, but regular people who aren't into that stuff, I feel like this is a good token to have. So thanks for listening, guys. Take it easy. Have a good weekend and pray for Bitcoin. All right. Peace.